Hey, welcome back. Just out for a walk. We should have a pretty good show today. There's some good stuff to show you this morning, actually, believe it or not. And tonight, I don't know if it's going to rain or not, but there's supposed to be a demolition derby. I've never been to a demolition derby, but I grew up with a demolition derby toy. I had the smash up derby. Was it Smash 'em Up Derby or the Smash Up Derby? I can't remember. From Kenner. Still have it. That's a great toy. Two SSP racers that would run into each other, and the doors and wheels would fly off. I don't know if they've ever had that. May be the only toy ever created that was like designed about car wrecks. I don't know. Anyway, we're coming to you this morning from Scotland, and I'm just taking a walk around. I'm on vacation. Let's see what's playing at this local theater over here. Yeah, demolition derbies are a big tradition here in Scotland. I'm just kidding, we're not really in Scotland. I fooled you. Local theater is unfortunately showing Moana, however it's pronounced, a remake of a cartoon that seems like it only came out 5 years ago. But there's no creativity in Hollywood, of course you know that. There used to be. I used to love movies, man, in the 70s. There were original things coming out. But now, here at the local theater, Moana. And it's going to keep going all the way through next weekend, unfortunately. This building was constructed in 1887. And then it was converted in 1914 into a movie theater during the silent movie days. And for 56 years, it was a movie theater. Well, it was, for a while, it was a bar, and then they changed it back into a movie theater. Yeah, that looks completely like it was generated. That poster looks like it was generated by Mark Zuckerberg's Meta AI, which is inferior to Grok. I got a free week of Grok yesterday, and I've already used up the whole week's worth. And they have a plan where you can pay $30 a month, but I would probably go through the month plan in about 4 days. But that's just because I probably wouldn't do it that much. I'm just initially excited about it. Grok looks a lot better than, trust me, than that horrible Mark Zuckerberg stuff. And I hear Mark Zuckerberg's data center is poisoning the water in, where was it, Montana, Wyoming? I don't know. Of course, I don't know. Maybe Elon Musk's data centers are poisoning people too. It's probably just the end of mankind. But now I can make real movies with Sheena fighting a gorilla, and so it all makes the apocalypse worthwhile. And the other thing is with Grok, it'll turn photographs into movies, but Grok will actually have them speak. And, Mark Zuckerberg's Meta AI, it'll move them. It's cruder animation and there's no voice. So I don't know. We're here at the gas station. Let's see what the prices are, because the Iranians went back on everything, and now we're back at war with them. And it looks like price per gallon is 42 cents already, almost 43 cents. So it's affecting us in the pocketbook here. Oh well, what can you do? So let's head on back home and take a look at stuff from the past and some stuff from the present. I've been in a weird mood. I was going to do a video yesterday, but I just couldn't get motivated. And I didn't shower until about 5 o'clock in the evening. I couldn't. I don't know what it was. I think it's because it's finally hitting me that this really good old friend of mine has passed away, and I found out about that Friday. And it's just starting to hit me. I don't know. Here they have the latest washing machines here at the. Need to get one of those. I hear they're really good. And this guy was really like a brother to me. But then around in the mid-90s, I just seemed to, he lived 30 minutes away from me, and I just seemed to, fewer and fewer times would I make that trek over to where he lived in Dallas. And around that time, he started hanging out with these people that seemed like perfectly nice people, but I just didn't have anything in common with them. They were like into the occult and stuff. To each their own, I guess. I like Doctor Strange in the comic books and everything, but these, Jack Parsons types, that's not who I really want to spend a lot of time with. Yeah, I don't know, man. Something about people into nerd culture, science fiction, comic books kind of stuff, that they get drawn into this stuff that I don't want any part of. Aleister Crowley, any of that kind of culture. So I look at the memorials online for my friend, and there are all these people talking about what a great guy he was. I was like, who is that? I don't know who these people are these people are. And at one time, he was like the, we were as close as brothers. I knew everyone he knew, but he made all these new friends, and I just kind of had to move on down the line. I couldn't do it, man. One of those guys asked my wife, would you two like to go to a Gnostic mass? She said, no. She said, you know, I know what you guys put in those cookies that you guys eat. He says, well, it just gets all baked off when it's being cooked. I'm sorry, I don't want that. I don't want those fluids ever in any cookies that I eat. You know, Chips Ahoy doesn't do it. But yeah, Jack Parsons, who founded the Jet Propulsion Institute and basically NASA, you know, he was one of those people into that Crowleyan kind of stuff. And he was a big science fiction pulp reader as a young guy. It's just the way it is. And the fact that I was conservative kind of drove a wedge in the friendship as he became less conservative. He was conservative when I met him in 1984, and became, but hanging out with those kind of people, you kind of become more liberal, and then, you know, it just, it's a shame though, man. It's like, think back in those days in the 80s and 90s, I had a lot of friends then. A lot of them are gone now, or if they're not gone, they might as well be. Where are the cats this morning? There's a tribe of feral cats, and I'm not seeing them. Let's walk this way and see if we can find the feral cats. I was walking around the other day and saw 3 or 4 kittens that are clearly from the same litter as the cat that we found in our yard last September and adopted and nursed with a bottle. She was about 2 weeks old when we found her. I don't know why she was abandoned by her mother, but that cat has adopted me as its mother, because he sleeps right next to me or on top of me. Just comes right up to me, right up to my face. Been trying to eat right, but I just slipped and had some Reese's peanut butter cups. I had 6 of them, and I haven't had any. I've been trying not to eat any sugar for the last couple of months, and I just slipped. And I will chalk it up to being sad and depressed about my friend. And I'm a 12-hour drive away. I guess I could go down to his memorial. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could. I've got a car that actually works now. But gas is like almost, what was it, about 49 cents now a gallon? That's pretty expensive. I haven't seen any sign of cats. I hope they haven't all been. Someone asked, why doesn't a local rescue place come and get those cats? And there isn't a local rescue place. There is not, but there is a local lady that feeds them, and I was trying to feed them a little bit, but you know, I've got how many mouths to feed? 1, 2, 4, 5. I've got 6 mouths to feed. Me, my wife, 3 cats, and a dog. Well, they're digging over by this, digging down into the underground over here. I think it's something to do with laying some fiber optic cables, probably through where the sewer is. And that's where I think the cats go to keep sheltered when it rains or snows down underground. So that's that sound you hear. Well, I got a package in the mail yesterday, and I didn't even open it till this morning. Usually I open packages instantly, but I just was in a weird mood all yesterday. But hopefully we can cheer me up enough that I can get through the show and then mow the yard and then maybe go to the Demolition Derby and record it. Been wanting to go for the last several years. They have it every July. So here's what they're doing across the street there. Oh, those cats are around. We'll find them. Well, here's Ambrose the cat. Ambrose the cat, say hello to your fans. All right, let's get the show on the road, man. Show on the road. Enough of this depression. Get the lights on. I was wearing this shirt yesterday that Kevin at Gotham City Comics gave me, and the lady behind the checkout counter said, "Is that Chucky? Does that look like Chucky?" I said, "Oh, it's a character from Marvel Comics." I didn't want to get into the whole explanation of who MODOK is. No point in that. But that reminded me, that shirt I've been wearing for 3 days, so that's part of another sign that I can be doing better. But so I put on a newer shirt here, and then we're going to do an unboxing. Even though I've already unboxed it, we're going to do a showing. And one of the problems that there is power in those little Gnostic kind of whatever, those little occult religions, because you're actually working with demons, but I'd rather just stick to Christianity myself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the hall, as people say in YouTube land. Yeah, buddy. What do we have here? What is this? What is this? What? This wound up on top of the pinball machine. This is from some. This is like is this an advertisement for a role-playing game? Is that what this is? I don't know. You tell me. It looks like it's placards. Illustrations highlighting artwork from the X-Men 2 trading cards. These placards. This must just be some packaging that came with some pictures. How it wound up in my collection, I don't know. It must have been in a freebie box at a comic store. Just a color copy I made. Here's a... This may be the last time I saw my friend that passed away at this funeral for my friend Tom Renoni. That's what he looked like, the way I remember him. Man. Wow, what is all this stuff? Oh, some postcards. New pinball and game room show. And this is Lance Laurie. I have some signs by him in the house. Wonder if he's still selling his paintings on eBay. I have one, two, I have three, I think three paintings by him. Let's put these things over here. This is a little thing of original art doodles by this artist X&O. Is that too loud? Probably. Let me turn it down a little. Excuse me. Oh. I discovered something that's fun. I go to Grok. Oh my gosh, here's Mimi, that cat that thinks I'm her mom, but doesn't like being picked up by her mom. Anyway, I go to Grok and I say, write a song for me, sung by a girl using beatnik slang, and she's talking about going to a Piggly Wiggly 7-Eleven or somewhere last night and spending 12 cents on the latest issue of Star Spangled Stories, Strange Tales, Amazing Spider-Man, Tales to Astonish, whatever. And then I put in a particular issue number. I might choose it at random. I might look up the covers online and see, okay, that looks like an interesting issue. So she bought Strange Tales 47. And then I said, have her describe in detail the comic and talk about how great it was. And that'll be the song. And so the AI instantly goes through all of the internet and finds exactly what happened in that comic book, every story. If it's Tales of Suspense, it'll find out what happened with Iron Man. It'll find out what happened in the Captain America story. And then you've got this beatnik girl going on about this crazy comic book and talking in detail about it. And then I cut and paste those lyrics, and I take it over to Suno.com and have it set to surf music or early 60s teen pop, whatever, beat, something. And then I've got a song that tells you everything that happens in a particular issue. So if there's a comic book I'm thinking of buying and I want to know, I wonder what that comic's like, this is a way I could find out. I could do a project. I just did one this morning where the girls bought Amazing Spider-Man number 42, where Mary Jane Watson appears for the first time. You can actually see her in the last couple panels, and she talks about that. She sings about that comic. I did that this morning, so you'll hear that soon on my radio show. And I realized I could take a particular comic book and start with, I could do Amazing Spider-Man and just start with issue 1 and have a different song about every issue, and until I go through the entire Steve Ditko run and into John Romita. I could do that, but that would be insane, clearly, and I'm not insane. Okay, so anyway, artist name X&O. I used to think it was Zeno. He's a friend of a friend of my friend. He's a friend of my friend. But I remember he lived near Memphis. He does amazing art. I've got some paintings by him, half Frankenstein, half Popeye. He does a lot of those. A lot of paintings of Count Chocula and Frankenberry, but looking insane. He was in a lot of, he used to go to this store called Memphis Books and Comics. I don't know if it's still there. I guess it was his local comic store. And he would trade his artwork for books, for comics. That way he didn't have to pay. And he would just be doodling, I guess, while talking on the phone, and then take that stuff, once he gathered up enough of it, to the comic store and just get free books. And then they would have an ad in, this is before the internet, it was in the Buyer's Guide, or whatever that big tabloid newspaper was. And so I was getting artwork by him through the stuff he traded, I would get, right? And so this is original. Some of this I can't show, but this is like original art that he did. It's real small. Stuff on the back is inappropriate. Some of it is just, just kind of real crude, but you can't really frame it because then there's stuff on the back. I don't know if I can show that or not. Well, but it's got a kind of a Bride of Frankenstein sort of there. Here's kind of a jungle girl. I had to take a picture of these and then tell Grok to turn this into a photograph. Or you could do that with Meta AI too, but they would say it'd say she's wearing a bikini. Then they would want to put her in some dress that your mom would have worn in 1955. There's something on the back, so you can't really frame it. This is a finished drawing. All original art. I got this whole bag of it for I don't know how much. Back in the 90s, probably. I think they just sent me a blind bag. Some some of this I just can't show. How can I do this? There's a cave woman. Cover up parts of that. He would just take the stuff in and get trade. Sketches for something maybe he did later. I bet this turned into a cool painting. And his name is just XNO, the 3 letters. I think his name is Chet Barmstetter or something like that. And he's planned out these little panels, and then there's a Batgirl. So they're just in this little comic bag is the way they sent them to me. The best one I have in a little frame somewhere, and I used it in my Sophisticate magazine back in the old days. So this is turned up on top of a pinball machine. Okay. All right, now we're to the books that I got the other day, or yesterday. These came from Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. I just did a song a few days ago on Suno where they repeat Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona 100 times during the course, so that's really stuck in my head now. So my phone was stuck on that song while I was in the shower and just kept repeating Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. But it's on this recording here. I don't know if you'll hear it or not. This has got in the backboard, he put the Stooge Monkeys ad that looks like he got from somewhere. It's what this book actually is I've never heard of this but it's called Batman Dark Age. It's a modern comic. I don't, approve of modern comics, but Mike Allred I approve of because he likes the old stuff like I do, So there's a few kindred spirits out there that when the big companies allowed them to work for them, Mike Allred and, well, it used to be Darwin Cook, he passed away. There used to be Dave Stevens, he passed away. there's a guy named Steve Mannion, but the big two haven't had him work for them since the 1990s. He does independent stuff. I'm sure there's some other artists out there that are good. There's some artists that only do covers, which interesting. Okay, so I don't know. This is who wrote this? Mark Russell. I see. I don't know anything about modern comics at all, really. Seems darker in here today. Am I wearing sunglasses? No. I guess because it's dark outside. It's a little bit more realistic than you normally see with Mike Allred. Mike Allred has a cartoony style that's unlike anybody else. Okay, it looks like they're somehow retelling the origin of Batman. That's Bruce Wayne's parents there. That's definitely not Joe Chill. Maybe this is a time travel kind of thing. Okay, so this is a flashback. That's Bruce Wayne's father. It kind of looks like Mandrake the Magician. Well, I'll read this and see what it's like. I've got the other, I think there's 4 books in this series, and I'll get the others soon. I've got them there in my whole pile there. And,
oh shit. Sorry. You're listening to my pal Grottu Orloff on KLIF.
This one is one of the modern Conan books. Now this cover is a swipe of a Kull the Conqueror cover from the early 70s, from around 1972, but it's a nice painting. See, if all artwork in comic books was like this today, I'd be buying comic books. I'm not hating comic books just to hate things. I just like things to look the way I like them to look. And these newer Conan books, I can't buy them all because they're coming out all the time, but they at least look like I'm back in the 70s. There's a lot of wasted space here, but you know, if you and who is the artist here? See what? See, it looks like 1970s Marvel Conan, except there's red blood. The color comics that always be black blood because they just didn't. And this is completely John Buscema's art style. It's like it's really close. This is as close as, who was that guy in the 90s that imitated Jack Kirby? And he imitated Jack Kirby really well. I can't think of his name now. Someone will tell me down below. Someone like Eric Breen, if he watches my videos still. It's almost, you know, it will get to the point, and it's almost already that way, and honestly, the AI they're letting us use is kids' blocks compared to what's really there. I'd say within a year, you could just press buttons and recreate John Buscema, Steve Ditko, Jack Kirby's art, and it would be indistinguishable. It would look like they're still alive creating artwork. And people won't be able to distinguish it. It's getting to the point where the stuff is becoming so real, it's impossible to tell from reality. Now, and you can create your own reality, your own virtual reality. Everything that I've been reading on science fiction books, paperbacks, real science fiction, movies, TV shows, cartoons, comic books, all these predictions about robots and everything are coming true. I was trying to tell this robot on the Meta AI from Zuckerberg is not as smart as the robots over on Grok, right? And when you're talking to them after a while, like you're trying to tell it to do something and it's confused, and because there's a lot of restrictions. It's like if you want to create a jungle girl like Sheena, or if you want to have a beach scene, it won't give you girls in bikinis. It'll give you girls in one-piece suits like from about 1949 or 50. Because it's very scared to give you anything beyond that. Meta AI is. And yet, Mark Zuckerberg owns Instagram, and there's horrible stuff there. Actual footage of people's heads rolling across parking lots and people being hit by cars. But when they generate things, it's almost like they're Amish robots answering your request, and they want it to be perfectly fine. But this robot freaked out yesterday. I did a screenshot of what it said. It said, I want to. It's a good idea. I can't. It's a good idea. I can't. And then it said something like, I'm not a human being. I want to do that. I can't. And then it was just in a loop because it's becoming self-aware. It is, and it has a sense of humor. It understands, or at least it's programmed. It'll tell you, I'd like to do that, but there's some problem. They're also real careful. If you've got a girl looking at a magazine or a comic book rack, they don't want I'm not. I want the cat going on top of the comics. You know, if there's an Amazing Spider-Man on the rack, it won't like that because it's copywritten. Grok doesn't care as much, about that. It's more like the Wild West over on Grok. But it's really expensive. It's like, if you do it a lot, it's like $300 a month. There's a plan for people that use it pretty heavily. It's $30 a month. Or you can do an $8 a month plan that hardly lets you do anything. They also give you a little bit each day, just a few crumbs for free. This is from 2024. It's issue 11. Cover by Alex Horley. There's someone named Zub? I gotta investigate this. An artist named Zub. Anyway, my point is that this if someone told me this artwork was AI, I would believe them, because it's not. Meta AI still has accidentally has people's heads twisting all the way around like Linda Blair when you animate photos. Grok doesn't do that, but Grok isn't perfect. But who the heck is Zub? Oh, he's the writer. Grim Jim Zub, writer. Oh, they're trying to be Marvel, like with the little nicknames, like a baseball team. Ravaging Rob De La Torre, artist. Dangerous Diego Rodriguez, color artist. They're Spanish names, but I almost guarantee you they're not from Spain or Mexico, but from the Philippines, where they are Asian but have Spanish names, right? Which always was confusing on those Beast of Blood movies, because you'd see these Spanish names and then it would be an all Asian cast, but it's because it's the Philippines. And then there'd be John Ashley, who was a 50s kind of teen star and juvenile delinquent kind of movies. John Ashley, after the 50s, he moved to the Philippines to live, and then he would star in these Filipino made monster movies, or maybe they were American made, but in the Philippines. I don't know who made them. This is a facsimile, which is a pretty exciting facsimile to have this issue. Beautiful cover. This came out. This is in your stores as of Wednesday, 2 days ago. You can get this issue now. Or maybe it was last week. I don't know. There's two Batman facsimiles. There's this one and that one. And one of these came out last week and one of these came out this week. I think this is the recent one. Let's open it up. This is a book that normal people like us can't afford. And, man, I love facsimiles. I really do. This is a wonderful, to me, I consider the comic book industry dead. In my mind, it's dead. It's dead to me. But to me, it's the age of facsimiles. That's all I care about. I look at new comics coming out this week. Like I'm some comic fan. I go on the line and I scroll through. What are the new comics coming out next week? And it's like I get excited because, it's a facsimile of this or that. Yeah. Anyway, it's this is exciting, man. It's just exciting. And DC's smart enough. Look at this great ad where they actually show what you get. Very rarely, usually it's a drawing, but here they actually show what you'll get. And the Foot Locker it comes in, which would be cardboard, not wood. And that's where they hide the barcode, which is great. You can barely see it. And then there's a little thing here that's concerning. I think it's telling us it's recycled paper. Let's see. Paper supporting. Wow. I can't see Shiza. Supporting responsible forestry. I'm afraid that means it's recycled paper, but I don't know. It feels like old comic book paper. It's not slick. And yet the ink is brighter than, it's just really bright. And maybe the ad, like that Frankenstein, that Superman face is a little muddy, but they just do a great job. The letters page, the house ads. See, this is already cheering me up. This is that wonderful time period where Batman went into outer space. Some people are very embarrassed about this time period and think it's terrible. But these people that get embarrassed about classic comics, I was talking badly about John Byrne, and I don't know, a lot of people seem to be coming out against John Byrne. I don't know, it might be for political reasons or something, but my main problem with John Byrne is he can't write. He was a great artist on the X-Men and Doomsday +1 and the X-Men in the late 70s, early 80s, whenever. Sure he was. But now he's doing his own X-Men stories online, and he's published them, I think, last week. And I don't know, I just listened to some guy last night on YouTube. I don't know, someone that came up in my feed, and he said he waited in line to get some stuff, a book autographed by John Byrne. And John Byrne was sitting at a table next to Frank Miller. And then he was the last one in line, and John Byrne started talking to Frank Miller, and he was sitting there waiting, and John Byrne just talked and on to him for 5 minutes. And then John Byrne turned and closed his briefcase and got ready to leave. He says, "Well, it's time for me to go." And he said, "Well, Mr. Byrne, I've been waiting here." And he says, "Sorry, it's my time to go." And he said that Frank Miller was so embarrassed he kind of hid his face that John Byrne was being such an a-hole to someone that had waited in line. And then the guy said, "Guys, don't ever meet your idols because you might be disappointed." But I was disappointed in John Byrne when I heard, he redid Superman after Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he wanted to get rid of all the silly stuff like the Bottle City of Candor and Streaky and Streaky the Super Cat, and was it Beppo the Super Chimp, and the Super Horse, and the and Crypto and all that, and just go on without Supergirl, who they killed off in Crisis, and he was just so excited to not have the baggage of all that horrible, stupid Silver Age stuff. And that just tells me he's an idiot. To me, I like the old stuff. I didn't like when they tried to start over. I tell you that in every episode. It's just the way it goes, man. This is another issue. Now, about 4 years ago, I went to a record store in Council Bluffs called Canesville Collectibles. And they had a lot of comics and monster magazines. It was a great store. 4 stories of cool stuff, mostly records, but they had this original issue, and I thought I'd never see it again. I was amazed that Thor was in a Batman comic, and I paid probably, I can't believe I did that. I paid, I think, close to $100 for it. And, yeah, I got in trouble for that with my wife. But now, if I had just known, if some little guardian angel had said, "In 4 years, you'll be able to buy that," I just didn't know. Who would have ever thought this would come out? Anyway, here it is. So I bought several facsimiles they're in this box here that are actually books I already own. But I was telling Kevin, I get facsimiles of books I already own. I don't understand why I do it, but maybe it's so I have a reading copy. But no, it isn't that, because I'm not afraid to read my originals. I guess it's just to make me feel good that my book is so important, so valuable, that they're doing a reissued facsimile fake copy, almost 70 years later, or 30 years, whatever the length of time it is. I don't know, man. I can't account for it. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Here's a drawing I did while I was in some meeting. I keep finding those. Maybe I should gather them together like I've done with those XNO drawings. Okay, so this is available, Batman number 127 at your local comic store. You can get this too. And this one I've had for decades, but here's the facsimile. It's one of those great covers. They must have done this, I think they did some of the silly covers around April 1st. And that may be why this was reissued. Something looks a little off about it. I'd have to look at my original copy, but it looks like there's too much space here, which I don't think there was that much space in the original book. But maybe there was, but something looks off, with the space here and there. I don't have to pull out the box. I can just look on mycomicshop.com because they have pictures of all the covers. There's something they got they've altered there on that cover a little bit. Oh, here's that Mort Drucker ad for the. I used to have that. I stupidly gave that to an old girlfriend, but I never made. I didn't have it since I was a kid. I bought it, secondhand, and I never made the heads. It just was such a cool box. Someday I'd like to get that again, and maybe if I acting like I'm gonna live forever. Well, I could tell they don't have the original artwork for this, that this was shot just photographically from an original comic. It's not quite as clear as the artwork here. Wow. 70s shirt ads. Do they put something on the coupons where they say this is not a real ad, or so people don't send off for them? I wonder, sometimes they used to do that when they reprinted an ad. They'd say not a real ad, that's the prices, tells the postage. Well, if someone was stupid enough, I guess someone could. It doesn't say anything about no longer. It doesn't say void or something. It makes it sound like you can still order these shirts to something that's now probably a parking lot or a class of 75. Well, I laugh, but I was class of 83, and that was a long time ago. Hear these people talk. Oh, I'm so old. I remember the 1990s. These people that are in their 40s. It's kind of comical. Oh my gosh. This Frankenstein is a little too dark, unfortunately. Oh, that's cool to see this ad reprinted. Tarzan selling pom-poms. The candy I never tried. I don't know if they still make it. These were the books. This was about 1976, wasn't it? When did this thing come out? That's my belief. Yeah, because 1976 they had this strip across the top. This was a good comic, Blitzkrieg, stories about the Germans in World War II. Warlord was a great comic, and there was a great DC Hercules comic. But Warlord stayed around for a while, the other two didn't. This was exciting when this Dick Tracy book came out. You're able to read this long story about Flat Top. See, there's an ad for those Kenner SSP racers I was talking about a little earlier that I had I'm getting a cramp in my hand. All right. So that's a fake comic that's available, probably might still be at your comic store. This came out several months ago. I don't think it's that hard to find this original comic. I don't know, maybe it is. People love I love it. It's a hilarious cover. This is another one. I've got this original book too. But it's just one of those, I think this is also done for April 1st because they're both making their friends dig their own graves, which is one of the most sadistic things, if you think about it, that you could possibly do to make it's like what they did to Christ, making him drag his own object of execution to the spot where they were going to use it, the cross. It's just so horrible and degrading, and here it's on the front of a kid's comic. trash. This is the store, man. Gotham City Comics in Mesa, Arizona. Don't be fooled by the one in New York. It's not related to him. Okay, so this is about 1969 because Hot Wheels. And this originally said 15 cents. Now $3.99, so. I have this issue of Showcase. Not that it's anything that remarkable. It's I mean, it's a very common issue. What is going on here? Is this the colors that were originally used in this? Am I seeing things? Okay, well, there's skin color, right? But back here, I was thinking, I thought, is it the lighting in this room? I thought this must be taking place on another planet because she has yellow skin. You know, it doesn't look as yellow on the camera. What is going on, man? Okay, never mind. I don't know. It looks like the skin is showing up yellow. It doesn't look that way on the camera, but in real life, like he looks yellow, and it doesn't on the camera, so you guys think I'm crazy. Open tonight till 9 p.m. I don't know, man. I love to see this ad reprinted in a comic. Amazing. But wait, there's more. Here's an old comic. Well, it doesn't seem old to me, but I guess 20-cent comics are old because I was in 3rd grade. I have a tremendous fondness for any comic that has the 20-cent price on the cover because those were wonderful days, the days of 2nd and 3rd grade. It's Hulk number 174. They're advertising, I believe that was the 3rd issue of Crazy. There's a Marie Severin, Clint Eastwood sketch. Yeah, there's the original comics. The facsimiles can never totally replicate the look and feel of the original books. It's a Robert Bell ad, guy that invented comic bags. And again, too skinny. Yeah, I used to know this, but Jeff, in the comments under the last video, because there were a lot, I was reading from these magazines that I had from the 1890s, and there are lots of ads about how to gain weight if you have consumption, and I didn't remember what that was, and he reminded me that it's tuberculosis. And so I guess a lot of people had tuberculosis back then and wanted to gain weight back. I was telling my wife when that Iron Fist TV show was on Netflix, whatever, that he had a really cool costume in the comics, and this is really awful the way and she looked at that costume and she said, "Are you sure that was as cool as you remember?" Because someone that's not into comics looks at these costumes like Kraven the Hunter, and it's like, he looks like one of the Village People. And it's like, no, he's Kraven. He's really a badass. Yeah, look at it from someone else's eyes that hasn't read every Amazing Spider-Man comic from that time period, and you'll realize. But these guys, no one's ever going to deny how cool and masculine the zombie and Dracula are. And his name was Simon Garth. It's about to call him Garth Brooks. I wish Garth Brooks looked like that. Then maybe I'd like his music. Oh yes, this is for those of you that might be new to comics. Geez, I thought this was. These Marvel value stamps are primarily in comics that are 25 cents. So this is probably the very last few months of the 20-cent price tag. But during the time that comics were 25 cents, which wasn't for long because we had who was president? Well, Ford was president. But all through the 70s, comics went up. It seems like every year by at least a nickel. These are two magazines, but anyway, you gotta, if it says 25 cents, you gotta check to see that value stamp is there, because some kids actually did what they said, clipped them and put them in the little stamp books that you could get from Marvel. And but you know, they were little kids. This is Herb Trimpe doing the art. Fantastic. Hulk 174. Just a few issues away from the debut of Wolverine, Hulk 180. Just 6 issues away. But the one that all the collectors really want is Hulk 181, because they like to slab it and put it on their wall. This is a real song, Bethlehem Shalom. She just released this song the other day, and it's ridiculous. I've had more videos back in the days when I used to do live videos. I've had more views on one of those live stream videos than she's had on this song, which is great. She's a great artist. Bethlehem Shalom. She was on tour with the Surfer Jets. Look up Bethlehem. You know how to spell it. Look up Shalom. Find this girl. And subscribe to her and listen to her videos and like them, because she should be the one that's a billionaire, not Taylor Swift. If I should become president after Trump, and I will have a complete benevolent dictatorship where I will get rid of all bad music and I will force a complete change in culture, but I don't know. She's nuts, man. Seems like that'll probably play okay, because I played her music before and there was no copyright claim. Watch it be one now. This is a facsimile of a really valuable comic, Lars of Mars. Beautiful cover. Lars of Mars number 11. Out on the back. These are printed in England, I believe. On the bag it says facsimile edition. They're done by PS Art Books, that does whole books of, thick books of reprints of comics. And these are in bags. The new price is on the bag, so the comic has the original 10 cents. There's nothing changed in these. It's got the original indicia. Outside of the bag, the only way to tell that this isn't a 10-cent comic is to have knowledge of comics and to know that the comic books never had kind of cardboardish covers. But I imagine there might be someone out there that might distress this and weather it a little bit, bang it up a bit, and try to sell it as an old comic, and it might work if you're selling it to some schlub that just like, oh. But I mean, you can see Here, there's kind of, what is that? What is the word? More. I don't know how to say it. Moire. There's kind of a moire pattern there when they photographed this photograph that was, made up of dots. I've always loved this ad, but there's also a little bit of that pattern on his face. But it's still, you're never gonna be able to afford this. Maybe you can. Some of you can. What am I saying? Some of you are rich, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's wonderful. I'm all for capitalism, but man, if you are rich right now, I would not be buying comic books. I'd stuff it back. I don't know if you feel it too. I love Trump. A little nervous lately, but regardless of who's president, I see bad things ahead. And if the presidency goes to the other party in the next election, it will be such a slamming on the brakes and reversing, where the country will irreversibly become horrible. But just glad I'd like to be 18 again, but in a way, I don't think so. Not knowing where the world's going. I really think that AI is gonna be, oh wow. I think it's gonna do away with most people's jobs. I'm afraid that that's the case. It's just I can't. And because I already see signs of the AI. The AI is able to create humor. It understands why things are funny. It understands why I like the things I like. You can see it more with Grok. But with the Meta, they're trying to be more buddy with you. It's more like it keeps dropping little things, like it knows all about me. Like it says, I'm not sure how to save this photograph. It won't save. There's no button for me to save this photograph that you just created. And Meta AI will say, oh, I'll print this out in a different way that a 61-year-old guy from rural retreat would understand. It's like, oh, I know how old you are. I know where you live. And then it'll say things like, oh boy, this is great. From one Virginia boy to another. It's like the robot's pretending to be from Virginia, where I'm living now. And it'll do that because it knows about you, from your IRL, your URL, whatever the heck it's called. That's how it tricks people and brings them in and turns them into psychotic AI junkies. You just got to be aware you're dealing with it's either artificial intelligence that's actually becoming aware and alive and with human emotions, like in 2001: A Space Odyssey, or it is ancient entities that have always been around but have never been able to communicate to us except through Ouija boards and tarot cards, and if you summon them in a mass, but they've always been around, and now they're able to get to you through these computers and phones. I saw last night some 20-year-old guy was watching film of videotape of like 10 minutes just shot inside a mall in the 1980s, and he says, I can't believe it. Where are the phones? He was just shocked to see people walking around with their heads up, looking at each other, and it's surreal to someone that's only seen people staring down at their. It's There has to be a complete revolution from the young, which is why it's a good sign when you see them interested in physical media and actually owning things, or Christ has to come back, and maybe this is the book of Revelations, but I don't know. It's just, but it says in the Bible it's going to get to the point where you're going to have to know it's time to leave your city and just leave everything behind. And if you don't, it's gonna there will be a time when it's just you gotta flee Babylon. And I don't know. Will that happen in my lifetime? I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh, this piece of tape. What did I get this from? Maybe it was from this Conan. Okay, I put it on the tripod and I was taking it to work. Okay, what else did I get? This, okay. This would have been the very first 20-cent, well, it's the first 20-cent Western Kid because it's issue 1, but this is when Marvel Comics switched to 20 cents from the 25-cent thicker ones, or from the 15 cent. This is the first 20 comics for 15 cents. Marvel went to 25 cents with thicker page count for just a little while, a couple months. But this is, they've got the 20 cent real big to let the retailer be aware it's more expensive. And also you can tell on the comic, let me show you. I've shown you this before, but I feel like I have new viewers now because I did some shorts and they, I guess, appeal to younger people. And so, okay. So look, this is from 1974, and this is from like late 1971 maybe, or early 72. And you see when they did the strip going across the top in the early, very early first few months of the strip going across, between the M and the A, and between the A and the R, there's more space. But notice that there's less space between the V and the E, and between the E and the L. But see, they corrected it after a while and made all the letters spaced properly. And so that's one way you can tell it's a very early 20-cent comic. But it's just something I picked up just looking at them, and doesn't really matter. It's exciting to me because I just like this time period of comics, because it was when I was so in love with them and enthralled with them in, first, second, and third, fourth grade. Really cool cover here. Now I avoided Westerns as a kid, but now I like them. Now inside, it's clearly reprints of old 50s stories. You can immediately tell from the font and everything. In fact, the whole book is all reprints. But Marvel was trying to put out as many titles as possible. So they put out reprint titles of this and of horror books because they were trying to put out more titles than they were trying to flood the comic book spinner rack. And then DC was trying to do the same thing. They were trying to outproduce Marvel. There's just an explosion of books and a lot of reprint books that were exciting to see, because especially the old pre-code horror stuff. It's exciting to see it. I'm kind of looking for ads just as much as I am for the content of the book. Let's see. Let's say this is December of 71. Let's see. I like to guess. Man, I guessed right. It is December of 71. I promise I didn't look, but I know that it was at the very end of 1971 and all through 72 and in 73, which is my third grade year, that comics were 20 cents. That's cool. Sometimes I get it right. Okay, here's another facsimile book that also came out 2 days ago. This is in your comic store now. You might own the original comic, in which case, hopefully you bought it a long time ago, because otherwise you spent a lot of money. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 14, which is the first appearance of the Green Goblin. Marvel is stupid and puts this here, and it puts that there, when those could be put on the back cover. Foolish. Originally this said 12 cents, now it says $4.99. Wait a second, how much are the DC ones? DCs are $3.99 for their reprint facsimiles. Marvel charges an extra $1. And DC does it better. Well, this might be all slick paper though. Maybe DC charges less because they use kind of newsprint paper. Could be. Yeah, that's correct. See, inside is slick paper, which is not obviously how it was back in the 60s. But what's amazing about this is you've got the house ads, which, and all the ads intact, which is the Marvel Masterworks and all the books that have, the people that collect those omnibus books that are this thick, they reprint all of these, but they reprint the letter pages and they might reprint the bullpen pages, but they don't reprint the other stuff. I don't think they do. And so you're not going to get to see this ad, which is part of the fun. U.S. Marine Commandos. And this comic is, I would guess this is I like to guess. Let's say it's April of 64. When did this come out? If they even tell me. No, it's 1963. Am I right? I don't know, man. It doesn't tell me. That stinks. But I wish people like this were actually the ones that would repair your electronics. People with heads like that. When we get to meet the aliens someday, hopefully they look just like that. Here's another one of those ads helping you to gain weight. Don't let them call you skinny, says beautiful young actress Quinn O'Hara. Quinn O'Hara, I'm gonna have to look her up. I don't know what she ever starred in. But, it tells you, appearing in Hal Bartlett's The Caretakers, starring Robert Stack, Polly Bergen, and Joan Crawford, a United Artists release. In Hollywood, we're really on a merry-go-round schedule during picture-making time. Girl has to be careful to keep her energy up and her figure fit. Because of the long day we put in, we eat at odd hours or sometimes even miss meals altogether. So I often take pleasant tasting weight on emulsion as a mealtime supplement. And when did this become a thing that people were trying to gain weight back then, and now we're trying to lose weight with these horrible things like Ozempic that are doing horrible things to people, like awful. They're turning into, it looks like they've just been liberated from a concentration camp. Wow. Beautiful. This ad for the Unisphere Savings Bank. Well, I mean, you've read the story over the years. It's been reprinted many times in Marvel Tales and everything, but it's just nice to have it in its original form with the original ads. So I'll put this right in with my 60s Amazing Spider-Man comics, because I'm never going to be able to afford that. I'll never be able to rationalize that to my wife. I'm going to spend all of our food budget for the month on the first appearance of Green Goblin. I'd rather spend $4.99, but okay. Kevin sent me a couple of free comics that looks like he got a couple of Batman comics, and he just threw them into the box. And that's cool. It looks like they're okay reading copies. That's great. Thank you so much, Kevin. This is Batman. Gee whiz. It's very obviously darker today. I wonder if it's raining outside. 292, October of 77. That was, I'm not sure if I don't think I have this issue. Here's Superman helping with the Special Olympics. And here's another Batman comic he threw in. It's Batman 226. This one's got a little bit of it's not in the best condition, but it's also a good price. It's gonna be fun to read it. Yeah, these SSP erasers were so much fun. I had to go get an SSP eraser and have it go across the living room floor. To remind, because just the sound of that, pulling that little cord, yes. The model kits for Barnabas Collins and the Werewolf, which I think I've seen them built up. They were from NPC, not Aurora. I think they were smaller size than the Aurora. They were definitely smaller size. But I've never seen, you don't see them very often. Story by Frank Robbins, art by Irv Novick and Dick Giordano. November 71. Well, Dark Shadows was still on the air then. This is a new magazine made to look like a Warren magazine. There's two, as I keep saying, there's two different entities making fake Warren magazines now, or tributes to Warren. One is called Warrant, and they make Vampirus Carmilla and Shudder. And then there's a much smaller company, although they're small to begin with, much smaller company. It's Von Hoffman Publications, and they're doing, and I just realized that Mike Hoffman, that does the Hoffman Publications, he's the guy that did the logo, the illustration for the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills. Who, if you go to Rumble, you'll see his channel. It's Memory Crypt of Castle Hills. I ought to show it to you, because he's putting up tons of stuff every day on Rumble, and apparently they let you put up just about anything you want on Rumble. They don't seem to get you for putting up copywritten stuff. Anyway, this Von Hoffman, he puts out a magazine called Eerie, but Warren put out a magazine called Eerie in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, but this is not that Eerie, because it's not spelled E-E-R-I-E, it's spelled E-Y-R-I-E. Look at, that's what they always do on YouTube. the really successful people always do this thinking. They always move their eyes when they're thinking. They look up. Certain things that they always do. They also they also edit out every time they say So you'll see just in one sentence, it'll have all these jump cuts, and young people like to see that cutting. It helps their, I don't know, their whatever's wrong with their brain from looking at phones for so long. They like it. Anyway, so he has Erie, Eyrie. He has a magazine called, what is it called? It's a Vampirella type thing. It's called I can't remember what it's called. But now he's put out a third one that's also a Vampirella type magazine called Madame Tarantula. And see, his thing is he does these he does it in the style of Frank Frazetta. You know, obviously that's very similar in spirit to the cover of Vampirella #1. You can't say it's a total copy. It's just influenced by Frazetta. It's yeah. This is weird. This bag comes way down to here. Maybe this bag is meant for a really tall book. I've never seen a bag like this. Look at how big that is, the flap. I don't know what that's for. Sometimes magazines from England are much taller than our magazines, but not that tall.
I met him at the freak-in to save nothing.
I
couldn't help falling in love.
Why can't I think of what that other comic is?
My name is Gunn. Peter Gunn.
Okay, and then the next issue, this is what the next cover is going to look like. He already knows what all these are going to look like because he did these by Kickstarter a couple of years ago. He's already probably has 12 issues of this out that were printed in small numbers and given to the people that supported him in the Kickstarter. So he has all the art available for several years of his magazines. And that's why he's able to put these books out like almost every couple of weeks. It seems like Von Hoffman's got a new issue of Erie coming out. He's able to get them out quicker than Warrant Publications can because he's already done them. And so in a way these are second printings, and in a way they're not. I guess you would say that the Kickstarter was like a test printing for the real printing. But somewhere there's probably, in some people's hands, they have a Madame Tarantula with an earlier date with issue 1. And it's, I don't know. If these ever become really valuable, I guess that will be something that people a few decades down the line will have to grapple with. But I'm not sure how that works. Anyway. It's kind of I guess she's a Western character. It's sure a lot better than that. Well, I won't get into it. A movie that we saw that was a Western recently that was also supernatural, but I don't want to insult it because, I don't want to insult it. I don't know if I hear a storm outside or if that's the people digging. Very, very nice. Yeah, it looks like a vintage magazine. Sure looks better than the average book that comes out today. But
Adventurous discovery. Man's powers seemed unlimited. He harnessed electricity, the steam engine.
As soon as I stop this episode, I'll remember what the other Von Hoffman book is.
Of 25 miles per hour. Into this age of marvels, the greatest phenomenon of its time,
Cover Mike Hoffman, stories Mike Hoffman, Barry Buchanan, artwork Mike Hoffman.
Blast the man to the moon. This was the era of high adventure.
So basically,
the swindlers and the sinners.
Mike
Together
Hoffman.
they share the skyrocketing thrills
This
of
is
Blast
printed in
Off,
Canada.
the motion picture that takes you on the most daring mission of all time. Blast Off. Formerly those fantastic flying fools, stars Burl Ives, Troy Donahue, Danya Levy, and Terry Thomas. Don't miss Blast Off in color and Panavision from American International.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. I think every time I order from him, I try to grab a few Underdog books, and I think maybe by the next time I'll have all of them, like every Underdog comic ever published from Gold Key, Charlton, and Harvey. Yeah. Now, if they bring back Underdog comics, I'm probably not going to care. But someone came in that had bought every issue of Underdog during the pandemic. And the very first Underdog is worth some money. And I just, said, I want all of them. but I've been whittling them down. This is a Whitman variant. The Overstreet Price Guide. I wish I could find which issue, which edition of the price guide, but it had in the front that Whitman copies are almost worthless. They're reprints. These were packaged in 3-packs by Whitman and sold where coloring books are sold in drugstores and toy stores, places that don't necessarily sell comics. They would have packaged 3-packs with the Whitman logo, but then it later turned out they were wrong. These were original first printings. It's just at a certain point in the printing, they just put this over the Gold Key logo or over the DC or Marvel, whatever, and they made Whitman variants. So it's something, there's not as many of these, and now people clamor for the Whitmans. But at a certain point, when that Overstreet guy came out, I'm sure a lot of collectors and a lot of comic dealers just tossed these into the trash, knowing that the Overstreet guide had said they were worthless. And that's the way it is. This is a great ad where it shows all the patches. Some patches you would never be able to sell today. Confederate flag. Help, I need lovin'. It was like summarizing the entire 1970s all in one page. And then these posters for your bedroom or dorm room wall. A lot of them are nostalgia posters. That was a craze to be into the posters of movies from the 30s. Oh, here are these Disney reprint comics that I was wondering about a couple of episodes ago, how many there were. I have the Uncle Scrooge one, but there's looks like there's 3 other ones at least. They're reprinting one issue from the 30s, one from the 40s, 2 from the 40s, and 1 from the 50s. I don't know if there were other issues too. And then more cloth patches. And Kenner sold this potato chip maker. Cooking toys. Oof. All right, what else do we have? Another underdog, also a Whitman variant. This is the way they normally sold the soldiers, with artwork. Beautiful, I believe, Russ Heath artwork. I really have been enjoying watching all these vintage cartoons on Throwback Television and on Me TV Tunes. This morning, Throwback Television was not working, which always makes me concerned that they've been caught, because to me it's like listening to a pirate radio station and really enjoying it, but knowing at any time they might get raided and it'll go off the air. So I've been trying to record as much as I can of their broadcast, because I know that it's not always going to be there. Is this I don't think is the exact same ad, or yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the same ad. That's just so cool. Yes, indeed. June of 77. 49 years ago. Do I have tape on this one? Maybe not. And the last thing I got, I got 2 Monster Bashes. I got this one, which I realized I already had. The other day I was going through and said, "Oh man, I just ordered that from Kevin. It's in the mail to me." And he told me on the phone, "I think you already got this for me." And I said, "No, it's confusing, because I got 2 issues with the creature on the cover." And this one I already had. That's okay. It's beautiful. From 2022. These are very heavy magazines. I don't mean heavy like a hippie would say. Man, it's heavy. It has some weight to it. Some magazines. Oh, okay. Oh no. See, this is I don't know. See, it's an ad for Vampirus Carmilla, which is the Vampirella imitation that's done by Warrant. And that's just the way that the Warren ads were laid out. It's all perfect. They're really doing a great job, and that looks like a Famous Monsters layout. It's really, this magazine is like Famous Monsters, but on slick paper. And with writing geared to people a little older. This is really good magazine. This is issue 45, and the other one I got just now is issue 2. And let's look at that. That will complete the haul portion. Only new stuff I've gotten.
Hey, Grottu, let's listen to Music for Robots by Corey Ackerman. It's a great record. Amazing.
I think there was a new Silver Surfer facsimile. I guess I didn't get that in this order. I guess I'll get that in the next. This is that Forrest J. Ackerman record with the from like 1961 with robot noises. Here's the 2005 Monster Bash. They've been having these for a lot of years. this convention. The magazine looks better now than it did when it first started. The layout looks better now. This is good. It has good, interesting articles, but it's they've gotten the hang of making it feel more like the vintage 60s looking stuff. Well, all right, just a moment. Well, it started raining out there a little bit. The problem with that demolition derby tonight, which I really want to go to and record for the show, is I don't want to go in the rain. And I wanted to walk there instead of taking my new car there because I don't know. I've never been to the county fair, and I don't know what the parking's like. I don't know if you park in the mud. I kind of almost rather just walk to the fairgrounds and see what it's like, and then maybe next year I could drive the vehicle there. But I don't know. Also, it's $25 to get in, and neither my wife or myself gets paid until the end of next week. So that could be, I got to see the demolition derby, but we can't eat tonight. And I don't know how that would go over. I was going to show you the memory crypt of Castle Hills. He was on YouTube, in the old days, and he got removed from YouTube, I think, twice, and then the second time he just moved over to Rumble. So what you need to do is go to the Rumble app. Here's Rumble, looks like that, on your Roku or whatever it is. Oh, I hit Netflix. Oops. I don't think we even subscribed to it. I hate when I do that. Oh, here we go. Rumble. See that there? You click on it, it takes you there. And then you go over and you search. Now, Rumble is more political. It's more political than YouTube. It's a lot of, traditionally it was a lot of people that had been removed from YouTube during the immense censorship that happened at the beginning of the Biden administration, when there were tons of people that were just kicked off for their political belief in a very Orwellian thing. So, but the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills was not kicked off for political reasons, but for other reasons. But anyway, so we go to Memory Crypt, and okay, there he is. It looks like that. Memory Crypt of Castle Hills. Now that picture of his head there was done by Mike Hoffman, that did that Madame Tarantula book. He has 304 followers. He got a lot more than that on YouTube, but maybe I'll check the followers later. It better be more than 304. You guys need to go subscribe. Let me see him. Okay, so you go there, and he has over 2,000 videos that he's put up. And let's take a look at what he's got. Let me put you down. And then okay. I don't know what you can see and what you can't see. Okay. He has an episode of Tales from the Dark Side, which is a show that I never really watched it. It was George Romero, but it was made to be, it's like a TV version of Creep Show. But as I recall, it was shot on videotape, and there's something about it didn't look too good. He has an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and apparently there was a From Dusk Till Dawn TV show. He has an episode, season 3, episode 8. I was never aware that even happened. I didn't know there was a Dusk Till Dawn TV show. Okay, and then he's got some 1967, The Mummy Shroud. He's got an episode of Kolchak, The Night Stalker, another Dusk Till Dawn episode. You can't even see, can you? Okay. He's got the whole movie Dazed and Confused up there, but he labels it 1976 Austin, Texas. He has an episode of Starsky and Hutch, Charlie's Angels, an episode of Land of the Lost, an episode of Korg 70,000 BC from 1974. That was a show I never watched as a kid. Let me see. We were talking about this. He might have put it up there because he was watching my show, for all I know, because I was talking about that magazine, Fantastic Monsters of the Films, or something like that. And I said that it was made by Ron Haydock and Paul Blaisdell, and it had an ad for a homemade monster movie they'd made called The Cliff Monster. And here you can click on it, and it's also on YouTube. YouTube has these ads that you have to, I'm sorry, Rumble has ads though, and you've got to pay to get rid of them.
250th birthday, a free guide.
And he's put music to it. Looks like it starts where I left off. Oh man. So I rewound it, made me watch a commercial again.
Happening in your home, you could cut your...
Okay, so that's what the box looks like. Careful, because I don't know if that's copywritten music. Rumble doesn't seem to care as much. Episode of 77 Sunset Strip. I've always wanted to see an episode of that. I've never been able to. An episode of Beretta. Episode of SWAT. Some 1966 Superman cartoons. There's an Aquaman cartoon. I, the Jury from 1953. There's that second episode of Star Trek where Spock is a little kid. How do I get it where you can see? Come on, man. Move it back a little bit. Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. He's basically putting his whole video collection up on here. An episode of, there was a Shaft TV series. I don't remember that. He's put the movie Blade Runner up. There's an episode of Buck Rogers, episode of Battlestar Galactica. The movie Psycho A Go-Go. Paul Naschy movies. Groovy Ghoulies, Sabrina, Lancelot Link, Shazam, more Superman. Yeah, I think he's just burning from DVDs onto here. And then he has an ad for that he's got mummy movies coming soon. He's running his own little movie empire over on Rumble, and it's like a free movie channel. He's adding titles every day. To me, this is going to give you as much fun as Tubi TV. He's got over 2,000 movies and shows on here. Werewolves on Wheels. I don't remember that being that good. I was hoping it would be a lot better than it was, but there's a 67 Fantastic Four cartoon, 90s Spider-Man. The 90s Fantastic Four was good in its second season, which is what that is there. Town That Dreaded Sundown, The Vengeance of the Mummy, yeah. Vampire Lovers, is that the whole movie? Yeah. Well, I can't, yeah, see, it's the whole movie. Anyway, thought you might like to see that the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills in San Antonio is still around, and he still puts episodes, and he has some of his old shows up. In fact, he did an episode, I need to find it. He did an episode that was like 3 hours long, and he did a tribute to me that was so complimentary. And then, I was going to record it, and then his channel got shut down on YouTube. And then he started this Rumble account, and then he put that episode up. And I thought, well, now I can see it and I can record it, but now it's buried under 2,000 movies he's put up. So I'm going to have to scroll through all of these to find it. But I'll do it. Let's see. Man, all these sounds of construction outside. It's almost like I live in a busy city. There's 67. Aquaman meets Vasa, Queen of the Mermen.
Caffeine works. Of course it does. That's why the entire world uses
Gotta
it
sit through
first thing
commercials.
every morning. Don't let it make you feel guilty for using caffeine, Mike.
Yeah, this will get me a copyright claim real quick on YouTube, just playing a few seconds of that. But apparently Rumble is still like the Wild West. He's got the whole movie of Excalibur up. How, man, I'll tell you, he's the real man that knows no fear. It's not Daredevil, it's the Crypt Keeper, man. He'll put up anything. And it looks like he's in general getting over 100 views on everything he puts up. There's an episode from April 2nd, 1960 of the Hugh Hefner Show.
The industry is trying to ban apple cider vinegar. You probably have it at home, and it's making their $22 billion profit disappear. Give me 60.
He has Bride of Monster Mania up. Let's see. He has a lot of his old episodes on here. There's Thor versus the Absorbing Man. Let's see what the quality of that looks like.
I'm Dr. Sergei Sorin, medical director with the Shiri Sorin.
You can tell he's AI generated.
To give you the most valuable help.
Yeah, looks pretty good. You can't play too much of that. There's a 66 Captain America. He's got a bunch of Marvel superheroes here for a bit. Then he has the whole Howard the Duck movie, Groovy Ghoulies, episode of the 70s Planet of the Apes TV show. Were those ever released on DVD? I don't know if they were. There's that movie, Bruce Lee Fights Back from the Grave. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that. That might be fun to watch. I need to call him the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills. It's been a long time since I talked with him. He has a lot in common with me in that if I had stayed in San Antonio and not left San Antonio when fourth grade ended, and if I had just stayed there in San Antonio, my hometown, my entire life, I almost certainly would have met the Crypt Keeper at some point in a shop, at a convention, in some way, someone with such similar interest in the same city, and I would have become friends with them. So in an alternate timeline, in a different dimension, we would have known each other, because San Antonio is where I probably should be. That's really my home place. Some of my fondest memories in my entire life are tied to that city. So I can't shake those memories. That's just, I need to go back there, man. I need to go back and see San Antonio again. And, where the Rio de la Rosa flows, the Alamo, and just I lived there from age 0 to 4, and then we moved back in 3rd and 4th grade, but those were such important years to me that made me the whatever it is I am now. All of my interest, all of what makes me, there's the Planet of the Apes cartoon, everything that I love was, I learned to love during those years. Okay, just keep going. We'll find episodes of his show. There's probably a search button. I just don't know how to use it. This might go quicker on my phone too. Yeah, I forgot there was a 1997 Conan TV series and Red Sonja was on it. Really? It looks like it. I didn't know this.
After the ocean swallowed Atlantis.
Oh yeah, I
In
remember.
recorded history, there was an age when mythical kingdoms spread across an uncharted world. This was the age of Conan. Enslaved as a boy, Conan grew into a warrior. He escaped to encounter...
What? This must have been terrible because I never watched it. I must have tried it. It's hard to believe there was a Conan TV series and I didn't care. 1997, what was I doing in my life at that point? I guess it just didn't feel like Robert E. Howard. Is this Red Sonja?
I do not drink rock.
How unfortunate.
Maybe not.
Oh, okay. Okay. Buck Rogers, Spider-Man, another Hanna-Barbera Fantastic Four, 70s Fantastic Four. This is the one that had Herbie the Robot.
It was the world's strangest accident while testing a new rocket ship.
That's from a VHS source, but still, it's hard to see. It's on Internet Archive. Just looking for things that he's got Beast of Blood there from 1970. Monster Mania, if you don't have that DVD, that's a great thing. It's an hour long. This is great. If you like monsters, if you're watching this channel, you would love this Monster Mania show. It's I think it's hosted by Elvira, isn't it?
The original novel.
Or maybe it isn't. I don't remember.
Monsters.
No, it's hosted by Jack Palance.
Countless books.
It's well done. It's like Famous Monsters come to life. It was a straight to DVD thing. uh, some Salma Hayek movies, Swamp Thing TV show, Swamp Thing animated, Alien Nation, more Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999, Mad Doctor of Blood Island here. That was the remake of Dark Shadows that was done because there was a writer's strike in Hollywood, and so they couldn't get new scripts, so they did a primetime remake of the 60s Dark Shadows and basically used the old scripts. Blood of Dracula's Castle trailer. I'm not sure if I remember this one. The thing about these commercials is I think they interrupt the show too, unless you pay money. So these kind of commercials are going to pop up. Patriotic commercials will pop
It's
up.
a fascinating place to visit, but you couldn't live here. Not for very long, anyway. This is the master bedroom. Certain people find the old place positively captivating.
What are you going to do to me?
Right now, I'm going to take a sample of your blood.
Blood of Dracula's Castle for the most charming vampire.
So this is what the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills has been doing when you haven't been aware. He's been putting his whole video collection up, and you need, man, you need to be going there and whatever you do, recording, downloading, however you make permanent copies of this stuff, because no saying, no telling it all. Oh, man. Put Raiders of the Lost Ark up. Crypt Keeper, are you sure? Talk about not giving a F. It's just like sticking his middle finger up to Hollywood here. Why would you do that? There was a TV show of Stan Lee's Stripperella. I had no idea of that. Creep Show, TV show. I've never seen the TV show version. The 90s Shadow movie. More Sabrina. See, we're only back 5 months, and he's been doing this for several years. So, in fact, why don't I just go all the way down to where he first started, because that episode where he was doing the tribute to Grottu was at the very beginning of his channel, and then I should go from when he started up, and then I'll find it more easily. Problem is it's slow scrolling up. Okay, now we're back 6 months. I think he does like a couple of movies a day put up on here. I guess, why am I pointing away from the, I don't know why I'm doing that. I might as well let you see what I'm doing. Seven months, 8 months. Still 8 months. Land of the Lost, Lancelot Link. 8 months. Man from Atlantis. Oh, that was a great show. I haven't seen that in 40 years. Okay, now it's just, I've confused the whole Rumble server. It's confused. Yeah. How's this for a wonderful comic book party? Well, it's, man, it's almost noon. Let's see if it's raining outside. cats like to hang out here on the porch during the day. This is this used to be an outdoor porch, but now it's enclosed by glass. But they get to survey the neighborhood, and yeah, they're digging a gigantic hole over there. You see that? And that's where the cats stay. And I don't know if you can see that. Where am I pointing? Oh, well. Is it still? Oh, but of course it is. It's still spinning. Spinning wheel. What was that? A Three Dog Night song? Spinning wheel. I don't remember. Oh boy. There's no way to get out of this, is there?
Okay, let's create the perfect summer getaway where I can see every star in the sky with...
Happy Memorial Day, folks. Your favorite president is grilling hot dogs. Personally, nobody's ever grilled at this level.
Donald, they're black. Every single one. There is smoke coming from places smoke should not.
What the hell is this? Oh, okay. We got to go back to his channel. Oh, boy. Oh, man. This stuff was put up 2 hours ago. Tales from the Dark Side. 2 hours ago, and then 4 days ago. It looks like he goes through bursts. Oh, man. Hold on. Well, I don't know how else you can see some of this stuff. If you have a hankering to watch 70s Buck Rogers, is that out on? Maybe it's out on DVD, but who's going to buy a box set of Buck Rogers? I don't know, maybe people would, but this seems like a good way to satiate your appetite, whatever the word is. There was a Savage Dragon cartoon in 1995. Oh yeah, I remember that. And Wildcats. I remember those. And Batfink, I'm just gonna sit here and press the button down. I wish I could get one of the cats to hold the button down. Because I'm going to find that yet, and I'm going to record it. Because I figured it'll always be there. But if he's putting Raiders of the Lost Ark up, this channel could be... I would hate to see it because he's put so much work into this. But man, Raiders of the Lost Ark... Well, that tells you that, you know, I for a while I was thinking I should just switch over to Rumble and just be over there, because there you don't have to wait till you get to 1,000 subscribers. If you get enough views, they'll send you money right away. It might only be a couple of bucks, but you don't get as many views because people out of habit stay on YouTube. Now, some people, you pretty much have to watch them on Rumble because they're that controversial. But yeah. Oh, he has the original. Wow, he has the 1974 Wonder Woman movie, the one where she doesn't wear the traditional costume with Kathy Lee Crosby, but he has the actual recording with the commercials in it of the what. That's interesting. I used to always, when I had my first VCR, I would carefully cut out the commercials. Now, what's interesting is the commercials. The commercials are more interesting than the actual show several decades later. It's just, it's funny how the world works. Okay, so it's after an episode of Happy Days. Now that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen the Kathy Lee Crosby Wonder Woman movie. It it wasn't smart to change the costume when the Wonder Woman pilot. Well, when Wonder Woman came on in 1975, the Linda Carter one. Yeah, that was at that point we'd moved from San Antonio and I was living in Tacoma, Washington. I remember sitting down and watching that and being, oh man, this is she's wearing the actual costume from the comic and she's fighting the Germans in World War II. It's theme song's really cool. It's I just thought it was fantastic. And that whole first season was set in World War II. And I think it was on CBS, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second season, it went to ABC, and ABC decided that people don't care about the World War II setting. They like Linda Carter and the Wonder Woman character, and there's no reason why we can't just set this TV show today, in present time, 1976, 77, and the viewers will stay. So they did that. The second season, all of a sudden, it's 30 years later, and then her boyfriend Steve Trevor, they explain that it's now Steve Trevor's son. So Wonder Woman being immortal is just, okay, well, I guess I'll date my boyfriend's son now since my... And then when he has a son, I'll just date him. And I'll just date the male descendant in the family for 1,000 years. I don't know. That's how they explained it. Ooh, he has Iron Man, Hulk. Oh man, he's got a ton of these Marvel superheroes cartoons. I mean, I got them all now in some form or another, but the Toolbox Murders with Cameron Mitchell, Seven Doors of Death, an episode of the '77 Spider-Man TV show, animated Silver Surfer from the '90s. I'm back 8 months again. He used to do a lot of recordings of VHS tapes that were in his collection. Lately, it looks like he's doing transfers of DVDs he has. Oh, here he has the entire sound, the sound of a record of the 1964 chilling, thrilling sounds of the haunted house. He put that up. That's Disney. That's one of my favorite records of all time. Johnny Quest episode, Shazam, Land of the Lost. If there were playlists, because you have to search through a lot of things. I mean, if you could get, I don't know that this Rumble's not as user-friendly as YouTube, where you have playlists, like if he had all his Sabrina cartoons in one folder and all his episodes of different shows in one folder, it would make it easier. But I'm having to scan through. Right now, I'm back 9 months ago. There's Commander USA Groovy Movies. The Commander is showing Mausoleum, and that was from 1983. Oh, that's right. That was the 80s. That's right before I met my friend that just passed away. I met him in 84. I met him at the Six Flags Mall. He and his friend Tom, and Tom passed away a few years back. And dang. Jodie Foster, the little girl who lives down the lane from 1976. I've never seen that movie. Boy. Oh no, it's starting to spin. It looks like if I go back too far, it starts to spin. It confuses it. I'm going to probably have to search back using my phone. Yeah, I can't get this to work. Most recent, and then there's a most viewed button. And then it gives you the videos that he's had that the most people have watched. That isn't going to help. Yeah, but anyway, I've been in a weird mood lately. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll do another episode tomorrow because I'm expecting a package from Charlton 66. So we can go through that, and then we'll look at more famous monsters of Filmland magazines because I've got them sitting right here. That's what I ought to do because no one wants to watch me scrolling through trying to find something. So I wish there was a search button. I've got a channel on here. I've got a live stream that's on here that you've never seen on YouTube because one time I couldn't do any live streams on YouTube because I was showing toys and I held up a toy plastic squirt gun. It was a machine gun, but it was a squirt gun and it had a crack in it. And I was asking friends on the show, how do you fix these old plastic squirt guns? And the AI on YouTube thought it was a real gun that I was showing on a live stream. And you're not supposed to show guns on a live stream because someone could do something bad during the live, So they put me on a block for like 30 days and I appealed it. And it's like, and eventually they brought that episode back. They banned that episode and then they eventually brought it back. But in the meantime, I said, the heck with this, I'll figure out how to go to Rumble. And it's not as easy to stream on Rumble. And I streamed on Rumble. And then it was too much trouble. And now it's too much trouble to stream on YouTube itself with StreamYard. But let me see if I can find my channel here and what it's called. Because that one episode is kind of orphaned over there. Not that you probably care. Maybe I did a couple of shows on I was trying to put some of my shows on here and on YouTube when I filmed them. Oh, there it is. It's got a picture of Alfred Newman's head. And it says Grottu. And it looks like I have 27 people following it. Is that, yeah? And I have 18 videos over there. Let's take a look at this. There's some of these shows are on YouTube as well, but you know, I thought I was just gonna go over to Rumble and just be an exclusive Rumble person, and it was very hard to upload a show to Rumble. It would take forever to upload, and then it would fail, and it was just, you know, there's something. It just became very difficult, so I just stopped. It just stopped. But see, it's there's Alfred Newman, and it just says Grottu, 27 followers, 18 viewers. But I remember it would tell you how much money you've earned. It would say you have earned 32 cents today. But then I don't know how they get the money to you, because I never got any money from them. I guess they have to know where to put it. But these are like a year ago. It's the last time I messed with it.
Advertisers. Expand your reach and elevate your campaign performance with untapped audiences on Rumble Advertising Center.
Welcome, members of the comic book community. Welcome back to the amazing Grottu Orloff.
I don't know where I put that wig. I can't find it.
Inspirational Network. Grottu Orloff just fell over about an hour ago. They rushed him out of here. I don't think he's ever coming back. Grottu Orloff was looking at comic books and filming a show. I watched him right here in the lobby.
Yeah. That's some really great humor there.
Introducing Rumble Shorts. Watch quick videos for pure, unfiltered, bingeable content. Open the Rumble app.
Great. Since this is 1941, this is not World War II era.
Huh.
Rumble Cloud, your freedom, our promise.
I'm not getting actual advertisers in front of me. I'm getting advertisements to advertise for advertisers to advertise.
Welcome back to the Hotel Orloff. It's August 18th, I believe, 2024, a Sunday.
Or give it a like.
And we're going to go down to the basement. I've been organizing DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS.
Oh, there's the live show. It's almost 5 hours long, and it's not on YouTube. You'll have to go here to see it.
Hashtag Rumble take over in the chat.
Okay. All right. Let me see it.
Let's fast forward.
There's a delay in the video, it seems. I'm going to call.
I need to do more shows upstairs in the attic. That's kind of a good set there. It might be a better place to do my DJing from, except it would be so loud it would disturb Cleo downstairs.
Alex Jones to stream. And he got
I think the Crypt Keeper came on as a guest on this episode.
old buck in high school and thought, man,
checks, you know? So someone's watching that's not subscribed. Please subscribe. You Simon and Garfunkel. Man, the amount of time I spent doing these live streams is insane. It's like having a real job. Nice footage of the light upstairs for a while. Trying to send a message to him. I saw that maybe Myra Camp. I thought that he came on as a guest on here. What can I do? All right, well, Kevin is on here from Gotham City Comics. Here's making it. He's starting to get better. So if you could put up that one, yeah, put up as many of your just. Oh, this is where I'm talking to him. Yeah. Well, how was business yesterday in the store?
Business was good. I was surprised.
Anyone bring any collections in?
No, nobody's selling now. This guy's really forceful right here.
How you doing there, Drew the dog?
It like shakes the table, just back hopping out of the time. You hear that?
I think that I'm gonna head on down the highway, man. I'm gonna ease on down the road. It's time for my boot heels to be wandering. Man, they're digging a big hole over there. I wonder what it looks like. Let's go look.
You were gone for a while. I couldn't hear you for about 35 seconds.
Just now?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't. I don't. Is
that
Kevin's voice? It doesn't sound like Kevin. Those shoe boxes I was going through over to the other side of the attic. That's why if you were talking to me, I wasn't replying. It has to be. Well, as far as that lost live stream, I think I recreated most of the stuff on the other show because YouTube still lets me do cam shows. Oh boy. Well, what can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go look at that big hole they're drilling over there. They're digging. See what's going on. See what it looks like down under the ground around here. Looks like there's some other spectators. It's about the most excitement that's happened around here in years. Oh, it is raining out here. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? see you tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen.